What's up, guys? So we are out on John's Lake, struggling, struggling to find some fish, as usual. I think you just gotta get lucky when you're on John's Lake. That's what it seems like. Well, I worked this area over here, and it just didn't pay off. So I go back to another area where I kind of caught some. See what happens, and we'll kind of roam this grassy area. See if we can find one. Water looks pretty dirty. I don't know how much rain they had here, but we had some last night close to my house. Throw the speed worm around, see if we can scare one into biting it. Like these guys are in my spot. Yeah, my best spot. Yeah, it's actually probably right in the middle of us. Sometimes you can go out the day after full moon, and it just doesn't happen. It's like everything happened the night before, but I think last night was full moon, unless it's tonight. But we gonna keep hustling around. I got here at daylight, worked through that canal, out and around it. Just see bait, see fish. Just had one little bite in the speed worm, got my worm. That was it. I figured let's go around where I know there was some fish and do that instead of trying to find some new ones here and see if we can scare one into biting. I think these brim would be pretty active though. Our temperature is just under 88. Guys work under me. Blue gone or something. I want to stay shallow. I think today I want to go against my what I normally want to do. I work shallow and that deeper area in there, and there's some crankbaits and worm. I even got an old school culprit out. Water, it's definitely cleaner over here than it is in that canal. Yep. We're right here's right where we were getting bit last time. Actually, a little bit closer. We're pretty much sitting on them. This cloud cover kind of can hurt too. get fish positioned in where they want to be. So I'm just throwing the speed worm around, trying to cover some water. Been kind of the most consistent bait as of late. So you find them. You just missed one or got one. Missed it. Didn't wait long enough. I don't know what. I guess he's throwing a frog. I'm trying this blue emerald colored. That's what I got a bite on over there. I can't remember what I was catching them on last time. I know what I caught the biggest one on. Nice to get a depth. I was kind of hoping to get a bite like either close to the Kissimmee grass, mid-range, out off the offshore submerged stuff. That's where I got the bite, out off the submerged stuff. That's where there were little wads of fish. Guess we could go chuck a frog around all day shallow. I mean, that'd be fun. We might go back. We'll probably go back in this marshy area. I don't know what's going on. These fish are in lull. Really hoping I was going to see some action. Let's see what this water clarity looks like. Good Lord, it's dark. So we might need to change color. Just go with something a little more opaque. Yeah, looks like I had a circled around this area a lot last time. Where I caught some. Got a nice little breeze that's funneling through here. All right, let's change colors. We'll go darker. And we Pretty low light. John's Lake, where big bass dreams go to die. But they're here if you can get around them. I think it's a lot of timing on this lake. A lot of timing. What we got on? We got 4. What's up, guys? Appreciate you hitting those likes for me. David Royal, what lake you on? We're on John's Lake in Claremont, Florida. I used to fish Culper 10-inch. Tried to get a job there when I was 16. Weren't hiring. They used to be on Highway 50, a few miles past John's Lake, going towards Claremont. Oh, really? That's awesome. You sound like me. Zoom is right near Athens. I tried to get a job there, but they wanted me to work the night shift, and it didn't work. I knew there was a girl in one of my classes. Her boyfriend worked there, was a supervisor. Mario says, "Gee, I mean, hi. What's up, guys?" We got Lynn's 2441. What's up, Bmaz? What's up, guys? Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're out here at John's Lake, Claremont, Florida. And I have a love-hate relationship with this lake. Just sometimes it's really tough, or it can be good. I kind of feel like it's probably a pattern lake. You get on a pattern, you can kind of run that. I got a 5-pounder a couple weeks ago. So it's a very traditional Florida lake. And really a lot of the lakes around here aren't as traditional. They have more deeper water. They're more bowl-like, which is nice. But this one is relatively shallow, grassy, but the water's not good. The water's really low, which isn't great. A lot of these back sections behind the semi-grass where you used to be able to get, you can't. There's not much there, which can make it. You would think it'd make it harder to find those fish and get to them, but once you find an area, there's more kind of in that area to work. Man, it is dead as a doorknob, which, I mean, it's Sunday. There could have been a tournament yesterday. Could have been a lot of people out here yesterday. Who knows? There's quite a few today. I got here first light because that ramp can fill up quick, so I always get here early. So yeah, I can be out here and not really see many people, and there be quite a few people. Heard there was a big tournament. I want to say this past Saturday, last Saturday, or maybe the Saturday before. Had 40 plus boats in it, and the top weight was 27 pounds. So I said, let's come out here. See if we can run into some. Full moon, brim spawn should be happening, but not seeing a lot. I didn't see any brim beds in any of the areas I've been so far. Just saw something come up over here, so I'm guessing the sun was better we might see some more activity. Usually that early morning schooling, it happens before the sun comes up, and it can continue. And maybe those past years it was actually a shad spawn that was going on, because it was, you know, April, May. But a lot of times these fish won't get really active until that sun gets bright. They don't seem to like clouds. Most places in the world, you want that overcast. You go shallow, top water. Here, it's just not really the best situation. So I always fished, when I was younger and I'd come down. I was in college. That's that was the Florida deal. I fished culprit, and then we'd fish the zoom, smaller ones. Just going back to, I have some 10-inch culprits, but I always use zoom. Old monster. It's funny putting this 7.5-inch culprit on with a 3/16. It reminded me why I don't throw them that much. It just they're so light. Hopefully we can run into a little section here. This has been the best area that I've fished, but I don't see anything going on. We got some rain last night, cooled down. Probably muddied the water up. I mean, there's no activity in this submerged mat. I'll turn this just so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I'm fishing. Now I got the boat kind of wacky. This point comes out, and you can see it's matted right there. And I don't even have much grass here, but like you go up a little bit further and there's a grass carp tailing. Looks like this mat was pushed up against the bank. It looks like it's been pushed out, which is interesting because I flipped it for a little bit and it was not a mat. It was stationary. So I don't know if this grass is in the process of dying or what. It's funny when I hear about good sized fish being caught, it's usually in this lake, the East Lake. But the 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 main lake is the prettiest, best water quality. Maybe that's why it's just tougher. A lot of people throw work shiners in that area, in that main lake. But all these fish, I mean, they get taken to the boat ramp, released in the main lake. You'd think they'd just stay there. Maybe they come back. I mean, I saw I think it was a video. There was a study on, removing spawning fish, and they said, I mean, they'll travel a couple miles back to their beds. So bass ain't as dumb as some people think. I'm not seeing bait on the electronics. I wonder if we had a wind that kind of broke this thick stuff up. Because it was thick right up around here. Getting thicker now. Funny, I'm seeing bird. There's a bird over there. I'm seeing them in the areas I'm fishing. They're usually leaving. I usually like to see a bird. Okay, now it's just under the surface over here. These fish are just, maybe they fed all night. You know, I've come out here after the full moon the next day, and it always sucks. But these fish should be feeding pretty constant this time of year. Not seeing any action, nowhere, surface. And it was pretty active last time I was here, last couple times. So I'm just reeling this small speed worm. Then I'll pause it and let it fall. If there's any holes, that's usually where these fish are sitting. The brim are sitting too. Let it drop down. Weird, it's not super cloudy, but it's kind of like hazy. That sun is definitely getting hotter. Tuning in, please hit that like, obviously, and love for you to subscribe to the channel. They're definitely chasing these little glass minnows. And it's freaking mid-July. That, they should be feeding on bigger stuff, I would think. There he is. Oh, you sucker. Fudge. Broke my line. Man. Clean break too. Man, and I reeled. It was tight. Reeled. Tight. I never felt him pull, but I knew it was fish. Son of a gun. I just checked this line too. Well, that stinks. Dangers of throwing 15 in this thick stuff, but that's what I like to throw because I work this speed worm at a lot of different depths. Dang. That's a big one, guys. Exactly. Let's see. Oh gosh, got a lot of comments here. I'm looking into the sun, unfortunately. Move it around so I can see these comments. I saw the "you're not fishing hydrilla, you're not fishing." Dude, it's the key to Florida. If you're not around grass, you're wasting your time. Now, if you have live scope, obviously you can work these little wads. They're out in the way. Okay, they're getting active now. So I gotta get tied on here. I gotta get retied on. Let's see. Oh, your home lake. Okay. David Ross says your home lake. It's always been tough, but there's always big ones there. Deepest part of the lake used to be right out of the boat ramp in front of the first and second dock. Out of the boat ramp? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. It's deep. I fished it once, spent some time on it because it's like, it's perfect. All those fish that are released should be right there. I never caught anything in there. Steve says Bmaz on my home lake there. I have a very long history there. You need to fish that lake just as if you were fishing towhook. Exactly. And that's apparently, I mean, and I've said on here before when I first started fishing, and after I'd moved down here, this is kind of, I fished for a while and then I finally got over here and I fished it a while. And in that March, April, May, I did well, figured some stuff out, some areas that I always caught them. But after that, it was tough. And then they started, seemed like every time I came, the water was different. They'd killed the grass, they hadn't, and it was all over. And but yeah, it's your traditional Florida lake, and there's people, and I guess I'm one of them. They just refuse to do what you need to do, and they just don't do well in Florida. But I'm I'm trying to work out of that. When I was younger in college, I'd come down and I'd fish with a guy named Chuck. When I'd come home and we fished to Winter Haven Chain, Kissimmee, we just drifted the grass and fished the Texas rig. Um, that's why today I was like, I'm gonna stay shallow. I'm gonna old school, just throw a worm and do that. I get too sophisticated. The Dayboro on the right was like 20 feet. It may have changed though. That was years ago. Okay. You aren't fishing hydrilla. Yes, right, Steve. Pat says, did you try a frog? Not yet this morning because it hasn't been active. It's getting a little more active. These guys just strolled through with a frog. He missed one. I threw one the last time I was here. I never got any bites on it. Next cast will produce. Here we go. Gotta go slower. Get Z reaction strikes. Like hit. Like hit. So, I don't know. 15-pound can break your heart. So, just broke off on that. And that's all it takes. You could miss bass of your life. But like I said, 15-pound lakes like this is a risk, but it's what I like to use with a speed worm because I don't typically use it shallow. Now doing what I'm doing here, probably be better to have braid. But I like to fish this a lot of different ways. And I'm using this smaller one, lightweight. Gotta have something you can cast. But like I said, right before I came over here, I checked this line. It was fine. But what are you gonna do? If they get it deep, a big one, you're gonna have problems. I didn't feel a bite. It was tight, and it was tight. It looked like the line had changed directions. And that was all she wrote. And yeah, I know you said I slow down. I'm not dragging that worm. I'm slow rolling it over this. It's topped out hydrilla. It's really just under the surface. And then there's some holes in poppet, so I'll pause it and let it drop down. Um, Man, that is a heartbreaker, guys. But what can you do, you know? Why they call it fishing and not catching. But there's toothy critters in this lake too, so you never know. I didn't see anything come up, try to throw it. I am gonna, I typically always throw the big one, but just hasn't been the deal this year. I think it was a later spawn. And so I'm throwing the small one. Been throwing my typical 4/0. I'm just gonna move down to a 3/0, the smaller one. But the small speed worm around pretty much every lake I'm fishing, that's what they're biting. What's up, guys? So we're on Johns Lake in Claremont, Florida. Well-known big bass lake. You know, a couple years ago, I was talking to a local. That's when the lake was good. And you know what? I'm hearing a lot about otters. We've got some otter issues on some lakes. I'm hearing how crazy they are as far as they'll wipe a lake out. And I know a few years back there was in one of my good areas, there was a family. They would go up on the dock and they'd jump off. Makes me wonder if that had anything to do with it. There's so many little boat tournaments out here, and those guys really aren't equipped to hold a lot of fish, definitely in the summer. If you watch or see the pictures, you'll see a lot of dead fish. That could be an issue. I think the water quality, what they're doing with the grass the past couple years, just from my experience being out here, I think is an issue, has been an issue. And then the low level. This lake fish is better when the levels are high. And most of these residents, they water their yards from the lake. So when we're not getting rain and they're doing that, it just sucks this lake dry. I am seeing more activity on the surface. I was, of course, right after I caught that one or missed that one. But I'm seeing more than there was. I think one of the things on this lake is you just got to cover water. Once you find a group, then you know if you're fishing it pretty regularly, they're there for a while. But it's one of those situations you just cover a lot of water, shallow. But I've been on here and done pretty well in an area, and you know, definitely during the spawn. Oh my gosh, he dropped it. Might have been a brim though. Son of a gun. Why'd you do that, buddy? Drop it. And you'll see it. You'll see it in these big tournaments. I'll be leading one day, won't catch it, won't do anything the next. You just these fish, Florida, not can be amazing or it can be disappointing. If you followed any of the Bassmasters on Harris Chain this year, you know it was a tough go for a lot of those guys. Lakes are really dirty. Even the lakes that have grass, the water clarity is not what it used to be. And I'm speaking primarily of Bouclair. Most of the shallow grass is gone. Deeper grass is still there. And these fish are here. That's the hard part about it. You don't know if you should stay and kind of wait for them to start biting or just keep on trucking. It's getting hot now, guys. Yesterday I went out early in the morning. Amazing day. But the first time ever I forgot my cooler. I mean, it had to be a short, I was only going to stay 3 hours. And I got there at first light, leave at 9. So it didn't impact me. But yeah, I rationed that jug of water for sure. But I didn't have my cooler with me. That can be dangerous for sure out here. I mean, we're not in the upper hundreds like we can get, but it feels like it, especially when you have no wind. So I've got a, if you like this lake, I've got a live that's posted, and my last video was from out here, so check them out. Yeah, there's probably more boats, which I don't normally come on the weekends because I'm usually not able to come on the weekends. Quite a few boats out here today. I hadn't thrown anything slow and low. Let's give that a go. I'm not trying to rhyme, but I am rhyming today, I guess. There he is. God, he's small. I was like, God, he's going. Been the trend. Well, first cast with the old culprit. Like I said, I haven't thrown these actually since I've been here. 5 years now. What we used to throw, I usually will throw a smallest I'll throw is a mag 2. But so let's go back to the roots today. And that came on one of my used to be one of my favorite colors. Semi. June bug, that little blue tail. I hadn't been able to get I hadn't been miting this anywhere. They either want a Cinco or they want a speed worm, it seems like. And the speed worm is usually the introduction, finding them bait. And then when they stop hitting that, I go to that Cinco. I'm thinking I'm off today, I'm off tomorrow. I may hit another lake later this evening. I don't typically fish in the evening. So I may do that. So this point comes out and then it runs up and out. So this is a little deeper kind of cut. So it's more open. So maybe these fish have just kind of moved around. When I found these fish, I was actually catching them over there. Well, I caught a few. I didn't catch many. And then I got on a good group over here. So you mentioned that deep canal by the ramp. Did you ever catch fish out of there? Like I said, I fished that one time I went all through there. I mean, fish everywhere. Never got a bite. But I've been in some areas on this lake like that. Not deep. Well, relatively deep. You'll see fish coming up, doing their thing, fishing, not catch any. And this particular day I'm referring to started getting dark. It was that calm before the storm. And man, they just turned on and it was bam. I think I was fishing a horny toad. It's usually really good post spawn, early summer when this water's high, a lot of thick vegetation. You get back behind some of these kissimmee clumps. And man, it was amazing. And then then it's like it's coming. I mean, it started lightning. Then the wind picked up, and yeah, it was a bad situation. But it just kind of shows those fish are there, and they just won't hit anything, and then all of a sudden, the pressure drops or rises, and it's on. Well, I guess we just scared that one into biting. Maybe I'll just work this a little slower. Problem is there's so much thick grass over here. Get once you get some on there, it's not just coming off. So I'm having to reel back in, get it off. they're close to the thick stuff though. They haven't been out and away. Not where the bites are coming. Yeah, this grass looks like it's gotten pushed out. Not as dense as it was when it was a solid over here. It's all patchy now. I don't know. The water level's up. To me, it seems like Claremont, if there's a chance of rain, it's going to rain there. Usually always get rain when I'm in Claremont if it's there's an opportunity for it to rain. Beautiful area though, hilly area. It's a really pretty area. Lake hit what lake and state? I'm on Johns Lake in Claremont, Florida. Aiden Schoolcraft. What'd you say, man? Took your message back. Been catching them on a Nico rig. Okay. That's yeah, I don't have a lot of hard bottom. And I have one tied on. I thought I was gonna throw it on the last lake, but they wouldn't hit a drop shot. And in I don't know if you fish in Florida. Um, a lot of that hard stuff is still um, surrounded by grass. Um, and Florida, man, they're weird. Like I have one only really one lake I've fished where they bite non-traditional stuff like a Nico rig, like a drop shot. I've caught them on most of the lakes. You don't get a bite on it, but you don't have large areas of open hard bottom. Not where I've fished or that where I've kind of found. You'll have openings and spots of hard bottom. A little thicker over here. Well, that was fun while it lasted. I just have more confidence in moving this around and giving it several kind of reaction opportunities with the drop. You catch a lot of those fish on that initial drop. If you kind of slow this around and then stop it, you're getting a drop. Reel it, another drop. And that's usually where you're getting the bite. Where I've been getting them lately, normally it's on the straight reel, but springtime now, all these semi clumps, flip them. That's that's the deal. And chatterbait them around them. It's funny, like I said, I got that bite and broke off or whatever, and there was multiple surface activity. Now nothing. I don't know if they pushed a group of bait in. Seemed like that sun just kind of got high or got um, unexposed by a cloud. There was a change. Funny, I did go to the south end last time I was out here. One of my better areas. It's usually some deep Kissimmee grass. It wasn't that deep because of the water. I'm guessing it's 3 feet down. I don't know if these fish moved out. He's old schooling it. I think that dude's a local. I think I used to see him all the time. Hard to leave that area where I got bit, and we'll probably rotate back through. I mean, it was when I caught multiples. I caught 4 or 5 fish in that little patch. Supposed to have 4 to 6 mile an hour wind, but we don't have jack. So if you go to my on my channel, I have a short where I had a big one blow up on a plopper. It was here. Go back to that. Yeah, I threw some top water this morning, little square bill. I live in Claremont as well. Okay. And you're catching them on Nico's here? Right. Oh, that mat is still there. I bet the water's up a little bit. Well, I really would like to see something happening. When it gets hot like this, it gets hard to keep this thing on. Keep saying I'm gonna try to make something that can kind of shield that. See if we got any frog bite fish in here. I like the popper, but I'd rather have the non with this stuff. Wow, there's two of those feeding birds going through there. I don't usually see them in this stuff. Kind of interesting. Actually, a good sign. Maybe there's a lot of bait trapped in here. I'm throwing a black frog, and to me, this is black frog water. But seems like most of the times I've thrown frogs, they wanted the white. Oh, oh my god! He missed it. Holy sh! I saw that reed back behind my frog move. Holy cow! That was probably 3 or 4 pounder at least, maybe bigger. Freaking thick. Jeez, I didn't even miss it. And what I just did, you shouldn't do. I should have, if I didn't feel it, I should have not done anything. But it's easier said than done. Come on. Oh, nobody saw it. Had a massive two. He came back. Second time on a frog. Sorry guys, this phone keeps cutting off. Stinks. It's too hot. Let me see if I put this towel. Keep saying I'm gonna make me a little umbrella, but getting to get that done. If that shades it at all. If you shade it too much, it just blacks the screen. That's a bird. Like that reed's moving. I might want to put a white on. I got that really cool silver one. I mean, that should be an amazing spot, that tree. Oh shit, what is that? That's a snake? Something coming after it. I don't know what. Something was coming after my froggy. Oh, it is a snake. Look at that son of a bitch. He is going right for it. Where'd he go? I don't want to catch a moccasin. Probably make good video, but I'm not doing that. Holy mother of goodness, it's hot. More shady. This is more sun exposed. Really want to find that shady stuff. Hmm. Now I've heard the bigger fish want a white. They can see it better. My experience on this lake, they like black topwater stuff. But I think if they're feeding on brim, you throw dark. Shad, you throw white. Oh, if they don't hit the black, you throw a white. Last time I was throwing a frog. I got multiple blowups with the black. I put a white one on, caught one immediately. So you're missing them on the black. They're not committing. But this water is very dark, very tannic. It doesn't get clear around the grass. So to me, that's a dark frog situation. Hmm. Camera staying on. Let's see, anybody join us? Guys, we're on John's Lake, throwing this frog around right now. Claremont related here as well. I'm not sure what that means. Resident. Are you a resident of Claremont? That's what you're saying, I think. I'm out throwing my braid. I'm almost hitting my backing. So if you're lining braid up for, you need to not do the same. I have kind of a set system I use for, I always back all my reels with mono and then I have a bunch of 12 pound, and then I'll put fluorocarbon or braid or whatever. Is this water still dirty? I might want to go. Maybe I need to go to the white. I feel like there's more fry in this outside stuff. Holy mother of goodness. It's hot, dude. See, to me, these fish should be in 10 to 12 feet of water. But I know that's not the way it works down here. What happened? Water in it. Oh, it's twisted. All right, I'm done with that. Let's see if there's any fish holding outside this grass line. Then we're probably gonna go to the main lake. Fish off some deeper grass. came up. Oh, there's action over here. Of course, I don't have my trap. Oh, there's a gator right there. He's coming over to the action. This thing's running too deep. Well, no, it shouldn't. About 3 feet I get on 12 mono. This Bandit 100. Well, I don't want to eat it. They don't want to eat my bandit.